I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up gay culture. Louisville pays $800,000 to photographer in same-sex wedding case. A Kentucky city will pay $800,000 in legal fees to a photographer who challenged its LGBTQ plus non-discrimination law, ending a years-long legal battle. Chelsey Nelson filed a lawsuit in 2019 against the Louisville-Jefferson County Metro government, arguing that the city's Fairness Ordinance could force her to create content supporting same-sex marriage, which she opposes. The ordinance prohibits discrimination against LGBTQ people. Backed by Alliance Defending Freedom, Nelson claimed the law would require her to, quote, create photographs and blogs celebrating a message about marriage she does not believe, end quote. During Donald Trump's first term, the Justice Department filed a statement of interest supporting her case. In September, U.S. District Judge Benjamin Beaton awarded Nelson $1 in damages, ruling the ordinance unlawfully restricted her ability to publicly state she could not photograph same-sex weddings. Now Louisville has agreed to pay her legal fees, bringing the case to a close. City officials say the settlement ends litigation while leaving the Fairness Ordinance in place. Well, thank God the Fairness Ordinance is in place, especially in a place like Kentucky. You have to really scratch your head with, all the filtering that's going on in our world right now. Every time you think we take several steps forward, someone's trying to yank us back. What do you all think?
I think that's one thing. I know that's going to sound controversial, but I think I don't think they should hide behind the Fairness Ordinance and pretend to work. I mean, when it comes to photography or even baking a cake or catering or, hosting an event, they should be able to say that. I want them to say that they do not want to serve same-sex couples, because if I go to a place and they basically do a crap job just because that I'm gay, I want, I want actually, a notice in front that says no queers allowed.
Okay, so let's
we know that it's public knowledge. I think that every business who don't want to serve queer people should have it on their websites, just like ADA, on their websites, on their doorstep, on their signage in front that says no queers allowed.
Thank you for being the new spokesperson for the Alliance Defending Freedom, Bobby. My God. So, one. Since I apparently need to explain why it's not okay to discriminate against people, what if she's one of maybe 3 photographers that do weddings in the entire town, and all 3 of them decide they don't do queers? That's why you have non-discrimination laws like this, Bobby, because it's to make sure that there's equal access for us as the public to use services.
Equal access is not equal quality of work.
Yeah, well, in this time with access to, ordering anything and getting it within a day from Amazon, I think the possibilities are endless. But, I've said on the show before, and many people have said this too, we as an LGBT community or anyone who's part of a minority, we need to, really show where our spending is and let these people know we mean business and not to F around with us.
Well, we have to also remember the LGBT community doesn't have quite as much wealth as we think. Whenever you hear the queer wealth, you'll see this number of a certain number of billions. Go look up how much Peter Thiel is worth, and it tends to be the same number. It's like millennials and Mark Zuckerberg. Whatever we as the generation are, it's just the wealth of Mark Zuckerberg. But the other point is, yes, they upheld the ordinance for now. But if Alliance Defending Freedom is involved, which is a hate group for those that don't know, that constantly go after queer people, they're the reason Roe v. Wade was overturned. For those that don't understand, women have died because of them. If they're involved, they will make sure it gets removed, because the ADF's long-term plan isn't to end discrimination laws for queer people, it's to end all anti-discrimination laws. Right. They want it to be completely removed. And I'm not making this up. The ACLU a few years ago put out a memo internally to the task force, HD. We've all known that that's the ADF's game plan.
This is not just remove anti-discrimination law. This is actively encouraging discrimination. They're not just trying to say that you remove the clause that says you can no longer discriminate against racial minorities, queers, or whatever. No, they want people to come out and say, and the difference, and the thing that I want to make a distinguish point is with me saying that's because these are service business. the wedding venue, the photographer. I'm not saying that all of them can hang out a shingle and say no queers allowed. Obviously, banks or doctors or lawyers, they should be providing neutral service. But these are
so you want to just pick and choose what services you think we can and can't discriminate against.
Some services are more personal than than.
I wish we had more time, but before we do that, Kashai, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I agree with both of their points.
Sure.
The only issue I'm having is there's a situation where I would say if there are no LGBTQ photographers in Louisville, we need some now. But I don't want us to always have to step up and create in reaction to a issue. I think that's very reactive. I would love to see some legislation that's proactive and protects all LGBTQ people in the state of Kentucky.
Well, good point. And again, I wish we had more time for this, but there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.